Well, hello, SNHU 107 students, and welcome to week 2, module 2, your second week in your SNHU 107 class. Today's Learning Community webinar is going to walk you through everything that's due and where to find it for week 2, module 2. But we're also going to talk about ways to prioritize your time and how you can leverage using our amazing academic support team for your success. First and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. As a reminder, y'all, this team, the OAC, is here to help students get things like course content, webinar content, whatever you might need in a way that works best for you and your learning style. If you have questions about this or want to know more, just reach out directly to the OAC. You can call them, you can email them, or you can visit their website. I'm going to flip my camera on real quick. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to week 2. I wonder, how are we feeling? Are we kind of starting to get into our routine a little bit, realizing we got to make that SNHU study time? Are we like, oh, I got to figure out what to do? Or are we just rocking and rolling and just really just excited? No matter where you are, remember, you have so much support here at SNHU, and we're just really excited for you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you're stuck or have any questions. So a couple of webinar reminders. These learning community webinars are considered an academic space. So always be mindful of your conduct during these sessions and also the comments that you might leave when you're watching the recordings. The learning community is a space inside SNHU Connect. So it's completely separate from your Brightspace SNHU classroom. And nothing in SNHU Connect is graded. So you want to make sure you don't post assignments and things like that in SNHU Connect. SNHU Connect is where you can find the university clubs, organizations, and plus you have a dedicated SNHU 107 learning community that's there to help you review weekly assignments. I share webinar links and helpful videos and just give you some motivation and support from week to week. But I also talk a lot about the concepts you're covering in your class. But I just want to make sure that you know that nothing in SNHU Connect is graded. Everything that's gradable has to be submitted through Brightspace, which is your SNHU class, okay? Couple of other things for week 2, module 2 is, y'all, I can't say this enough, actually. Please, please, please make sure that you are reading your course announcements, okay? And make sure you're checking that SNHU email. Those two things are so vitally important to your success because your instructors are going to share tips, reminders, helpful information to break down the concepts and go over what's due from week to week in your announcement section. Plus, the university communicates with you via your SNHU email. So if somebody is trying to get a hold of you, whether it be your course instructor, your SNHU advisor, it could be the help desk, it could be another student, whoever it might be, that is how they reach out to you. So make sure you're checking course announcements and SNHU email several times throughout the week if you can, all right? The other thing I wanted to point out is for many students, we get a little nervous to reach out and ask for assistance. This could be if we don't understand an assignment or we're not sure about something in the class. But y'all, I'm telling you right now, your instructors want you to be successful in your courses. So if you go and take a minute, go to your announcement section, look at the My Instructor, you'll see their phone number. They also always have email addresses. Everybody has an email address, and they'll give you helpful ways to contact them in case you have questions or need anything. Please utilize these communication methods because we want you to be successful, so don't hesitate and reach out for your success, okay? Now, a couple of reminders too about this next week. So last week was week 1, start week, and last week you did your assignments. Everything was turned in by that Sunday, right? So that initial discussion post last week was Thursday, and then peer responses and all the other assignments came in by Sunday. So your instructors, your faculty have from that Sunday until this next Sunday to get you back your grades, okay? Now, anything that's auto-graded, like a warm-up, which is an open book quiz, those auto-grade. You'll see those things right away. But discussion assignments, journal assignments, when we get to your project, All of those are manually graded. And so some instructors grade as things come in. Some instructors grade throughout that week, that 7 days they have. Some faculty, you might not see your stuff until Sunday night. So don't panic. If you're worried about something or want to double check and make sure that you turned everything in, you can always send your instructor an email and they'll get back to you within 24 hours, okay? That's another reminder. When you email your faculty or reach out to them, we have at least 24 hours to get back to you. Most of us respond way faster than that, but don't get nervous if you don't hear back right away, because we're just like you. We got a lot of other things going on, but we will get back to you. So I always like to tell students that, like, don't panic if you haven't heard back within an hour or two. Give them a little bit of time. If it's an emergency, see if there's another way you can reach out to them too, or always loop in your advisor. The other thing is if you are not yet in the SNHU 107 learning community in SNHU Connect, hop in there, check it out. It is a space outside your classroom, and it has all the students taking SNHU 107. There's a lot of posts in there about where students are from, their majors. They're creating study groups, which is super exciting. Just sharing tips for success. Also, you'll realize that you're not alone. Maybe if you're a little nervous or excited or a little bit of all the things, it's just a really great space to be, especially as you move through your SNHU 107 course. Now, this week, week 2, module 2, what's due? What do we got going on? You're going to have your very first journal assignment this week. One of the things I want to point out the most is that you need to have Microsoft Word or a PDF or something compatible from a software standpoint to be able to do this assignment. Remember, as an SNHU student, you do get Office 365 for free, and that does have Microsoft Word. So if you don't have it, you get it for free as an SNHU student. And when we get done with the slide deck today, I'll show you the classroom space and where you can find that, okay? So for your journal assignment, you're actually going to have a template, and I'm going to show you that here today too, but it's basically a document, a Word document that you're going to open up. It's going to have a series of questions, and you're going to be able to type right in that document, all right? You'll answer the questions by typing directly in the document. Now, some of you might be like, oh, I don't know if I love that template. I want to make my own. That's fine, but just make sure you have all pieces and parts and have all the questions there and answered when you turn in your final product, okay? Your journal assignment is due by Sunday, or before is convenient for your schedule. The other assignment you have in week 2, module 2, is you have another discussion assignment. So just like last week, you're going to have a series of questions that you need to answer, which is considered your initial post. That initial post is due by Thursday, or before is convenient for your schedule, and then you want to respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday or before, all right? So a couple of things I wanted to show you before I dive into your overview of your assignments and some tips for your success is don't forget to check your grades. Y'all can log right into your Brightspace classroom, click on course menu and go to grades. And what you will see is you will see a list of all the assignments in your course. You can literally click directly on the comments and assessments, and you can open up what's called the rubric, and that'll show you the faculty feedback that your instructor gave you on how you were graded for your assignment. So what you did well, maybe some things you might need to work on, or any resources you might want to connect to for your success, okay? Also, you guys have a quick little space in Brightspace right when you log on that you can see your current grade in the class at any time too. So there's a couple of spaces for you to check those grades. Now, this week, here in week 2, module 2 for SNHU 107, we are centering in on the topic of time management, or prioritizing your time. We're going to talk about interruptions, and we're going to talk about learning styles. I love to share this quote by William Penn. Time is what we want most, but it's what we use worst. Have you ever thought about that? We all have 24 hours in a day. We're not going to have less. We're not going to have more. But it is up to us to decide how we want to use that to meet our goals and to be successful, right? So I want you to think about that as I talk through just a couple of things today. First and foremost, I need you to repeat after me. I need to do what works best for me, or short, just do you. Y'all, every term I see students looking and comparing themselves to other students in their class, like how somebody else manages their time or the assignments that somebody else got done. Some of y'all might work really early in the week. Some of you might work later in the week. Some of you are in between. The way you get organized, some of you might use lists or Post-it notes. Some of you might put things in your phone. There's somebody out there that's going to have an Excel sheet or a Google Doc, and it's going to be all detailed out. And some of you are like, I think I have a list somewhere in here. Whatever it is, you just have to do what works for you, okay? Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just think about how you learn best, how you can best get organized, who needs to help you, and then how you can be successful. So remember, just do you as you're beginning to navigate your routine here at SNHU. So one of the things you can do is think about how you learn best. So this is all about your learning style. So just for a minute, think about if this sounds like you. Are you somebody who likes routine? You like structure. You got to know the details. You want to know the due dates. You want to know the deadlines. Is that you? What about this? Does this sound like you? Are you somebody that needs to focus like just on a couple of things at a time? Too many things might overwhelm you. Are you somebody that needs to write things down? Maybe you need to use visuals. Maybe you're a visual learner. Are you somebody who likes to cross it off? I don't know about you, but I like to make a to-do list because I can cross things off. Or when I put it in my phone, I can delete it. It makes me happy, right? A student shared with me once too that for them, they need to hear it. They need to hear their to-do list. So they would use their voice recorder in their phone and they would record their to-do list the night before and then listen to it throughout the day. You have to do what works best for you. And for many of us, we're a lot of these things. Like I'm somebody who only likes to do a couple things at a time and I make a to-do list and I like to cross things off, but I'm also somebody that thrives off of routine and structure. So think for a minute what you need to be successful and what best aligns with you. Your learning style that you're going to focus in on this next week, you could be one learning style, you could be two, you could be a mix of all the things, right? So the biggest thing to understand is that one learning style does not fit everybody. You might be a combo because you're unique and that's just the way that we're going to be, right? So when we think about learning styles this week, because it is on your assignments, you want to consider like, are you maybe somebody that's the read write learning style? So you need to like write things down. You need to make sure you read. You're that note taker. Are you that visual graphic learner? Are you the one that's like, I need somebody to show me, right? I need to kind of see it. Or are you that auditory or verbal learning style? Or what about tactile or kinesthetic? Like you need to touch it. You need to like do it. You want somebody to show you and then you do it. Maybe you're a mix of all of them. So this week, when you're thinking about your learning styles, you might learn something new about yourself. And you might realize that you're maybe different than you thought, or that you might be a combination of all the things. Just work to understand what works best for you. Now, as we think about time, we talked about how we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? There are consistently and constantly going to be things that interrupt our day. It just happens. It just happens. We can have the best laid plans and they can just go poof and not go the way that we thought. However, what we can do to try to get ourselves organized or to work on prioritizing our time is to really understand what we need to do, when we need to do it, and who can help us, right? So one of the biggest things, if you haven't learned yet, is it's so important to schedule your SNHU time. And what I mean by SNHU time is your study time or when you're going to work on your assignments. For some of you, it might be in the beginning of the day before everybody in your house is up. Others might be after you put everybody to bed. Some of you are going to work in the nooks and crannies of your day. You might be working on breaks during work or during lunch hour, or if you have little humans or other humans in your house that you're taking care of, you might have to kind of work around them. For some of you, maybe you're going to be working in the car while somebody else is driving, or maybe you're ride sharing, you're on the bus, whatever it might be. It's just important to know how it's going to work for you and schedule that time. If you can, it can be helpful if you can work earlier in the week. That doesn't work for everybody's schedule though. But sometimes if you can kind of work on your assignments at like Monday, Tuesday, like write up your initial discussion post. If you have a discussion post due by Thursday, maybe you could work on it Monday, Tuesday. And maybe if you have classmates that respond, get those responses out of the way by Friday, and maybe try to have any other assignment done by Friday. It gives you that Saturday, Sunday to kind of reset. Or if your week falls apart, you at least kind of have a little bit of a plan. You've done some things. You won't feel so overwhelmed at the end, okay? Learn to prioritize. You have to know who and what is a priority in your life. Think about it. You might have to make some hard decisions, but really consider what are the things that need to stay on your plate and what might need to go. Your time is precious and you want to help it. You want to use your time to help you achieve your goals. Be flexible with yourself. Some weeks and some days are going to go amazing. You're going to create this routine and it's going to be working great and it's going to be awesome. And then one day it just might hit a snafu, and that's all right. Be flexible, be positive, take a minute. Sometimes we have those rough days, like maybe started raining and you got like all wet and had to run back in and change your clothes. Or maybe you had a kiddo get sick or somebody in your life that you take care of that got sick and it kind of threw off your time thing. That happens. Take a minute. I always tell my kids that I give you 10 seconds to wallow and to be whiny, and then we got to move on. Be positive with yourself. Communicate if something has come up that is going to prevent you from turning in an assignment on time. Communicate with your faculty, so the instructors in your classrooms. If it's something outside of school, communicate with your friends, your loved ones, your family, your employers. You can also always communicate with your advisor. Learn to delegate, y'all. You are busy. You have added school to an already full plate for most of us, right? So you might have to have other people help you. So if you maybe have people in your household that can help you with the chores of the dishes or the laundry, delegate. Or if maybe they can do some of those outside things, delegate. Free up your time where you can, okay? Prepare before. So if you know that maybe like you have a baby due, or you're getting married, or you're going to have a change of schedule at work, and now, plan before so that you're not caught off guard when those things come up, okay? One of my favorite things to think about as you're thinking about kind of getting organized and prioritizing your time is the word no. No is a complete sentence. I know that our grammar people might disagree with me, but no can be a complete sentence. So often we put things on our plate, usually for somebody else, and we just don't have the time. And it doesn't have to be no forever, but it could just be no, not for right now, because it doesn't align with my goals, or I just don't have the time to take it on, but maybe talk to me in a month or two. Learn how to say no where you can. Eliminate those distractions and time stealers. Y'all, these right here, phones, every term, about 80% of the students in my classroom and across all of our classrooms will tell us that their phones or social media are such a distraction for them. So learn to be without it. Learn to shut it off or put it in silent mode so that you can focus on getting things done. It's so easy because it's convenient. It's right there. I'm guilty of that scrolling too. But I'm telling you, stop your scroll, take a minute, use it as a reward. Maybe after you get your discussion post done or your homework done for the week or whatever your SNHU time was for the day, if you got done what you needed to get done, then you can go scroll or go to Netflix or whatever it might be, okay? But think about those distractions because often we don't think about how much these distract us, and every term students talk about it. All right. The last thing, but certainly not least, is you have so many SNHU resources here at your fingertips, and you want to make sure that you reach out and utilize those SNHU resources and your social supports, which are the people outside of the classroom to help support your success. Okay. Now, this week's assignment, you have 2 assignments. Okay. One is the journal due by Sunday. The other one is you have another discussion post. So for this week's discussion post, let's talk about that first. You're going to be thinking all about schedule interruptions. You're going to be thinking about who or what can interrupt your schedule, what you have control over, what you don't have control over, and also considering like how different cultures might view time differently. So review the prompts that are in your class this week for the discussion, and I will at the end of this showcase how to navigate to things in your classroom space. Initial discussion post due Thursday. Respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday. Remember, you can always respond to more than 2 classmates, but make sure that you substantially respond to at least 2, which means a couple of sentences are not going to cut it, y'all. You need to really review the posts that your peers make, ask them questions. Maybe you might have something in common. Maybe you want to elaborate on something or share a resource that you found. Make them matter. The discussions matter, the points matter, so don't miss that initial discussion post or your peer responses, okay? Your journal assignment, again, is due by Sunday. Remember, we talked about learning styles. So you're going to have a Word document. You're going to pop open. You're going to be able to type right in it, and I will show you that. This week, you are answering the questions about what is your learning style, or maybe you have one, maybe you have a bunch of them. Make sure you list them. I will give you a top tip here that sometimes students like to highlight which learning style or learning styles they are. Sometimes those highlights don't transfer over when you upload the document. So what I always encourage students to do is to actually physically write, like, I am the read-write learning style, or I am a mix of the read-write learning style with auditory and verbal, and then you explain it, okay? So you're picking your learning style or learning styles, and then you need to explain how will understanding this learning style or learning styles help support your success inside and outside the classroom. Share your thoughts, write in complete sentences. Whoops. Question 2 is to identify a problem-solving technique or method you have used in a previous situation. Explain how it worked for you. Identify how these methods might look different in diverse cultures or diverse fields of work. Question 3, how do you plan to stay organized or prioritize your SNHU study time? Question 4 is list the 5 habits of successful SNHU students. Within your module, there is an infographic that is labeled 5 habits of successful SNHU students. Click on it, open it up, and then you want to list them and share them here, okay? The last question is to choose two of those 5 habits to elaborate on, okay? Basically, you're going to pick 2 of those habits that you feel would be most helpful in helping you prioritize your time here at SNHU and explain why, okay? Again, journal due Sunday, discussion post, initial post due Thursday, peer responses by Sunday. Now, I already told y'all that you're never alone here at the university with all the things that we have going on, and you have homework help. We have the learning community videos and webinars and the focus videos, but you also have departments and people here at the university, and one of them is the amazing academic support team. So I want to introduce you to the fabulous Amy Pierman. Hello. Amy is a training specialist for the Academic Support Center and a faculty member here at SNHU. Fun fact about Amy, she used to be a professional makeup artist for over 20 years. She has been a student success mentor and a career coach for online students just like you. And the best advice that she can always give is, as an online student myself for 10 years, she has learned that asking questions and finding valuable resources are the key to success firsthand, which I absolutely love. So Amy, thank you so much for being here with us today. How this is going to work, y'all, is I got some questions for Amy. She is going to answer them. And then when we get done, you're going to know a little bit more, actually a lot more about academic support and the services they offer. And then I will take a minute and walk you through the classroom space real quick and then let you be on your way so you can dive into week 2. So Amy, first and foremost, how do students find or access the Academic Support Center?
Awesome question. There are multiple ways that you can find us. We are a very small team inside this big university. So these 3 areas I'm going to talk with you about today are front and center on everywhere you need to go as a student. So the first place, and probably the most access place, would be in Brightspace. On the navigation bar at the very top, you'll see a tab there that says Academic Support. If you click on that tab, it's going to link you directly to our platform, which you'll see the different services that we offer on the next slide in just a moment. The second place that you can access academic support, and we have a full page of more information, is through your MySNU account. So on that main page in your MySNU account, you'll see there's a tab for academics. You'll see there's a second tab for support. And then from there, it's going to take you into the online academic support center. So again, that's going to drop you right into our platform. And there's also links there and different information there as well. So there's a little bit more information in that particular area. The third area, that in every course, you'll see there is a module that says academic support. Now, within this module, we do have friends from the library. We also have the OAC represented in that particular module. But that very top link that says get help with your schoolwork, that'll link you directly to our team and our platform with all of the services. So those are the 3 main areas that you can go to find us easily.
Awesome. Amy, thank you so much. So Amy, when students access the Academic Support Center and they click on the links, it pulls up this whole menu of services. And so often students are like, oh my goodness, what are all these things? So can you just take a minute and kind of run the students through like what the different services are? And then 2, can you clarify, is academic support only for students taking STEM 107, or can they utilize these services their entire educational journey?
Yeah, great questions. So yes, when you're dropped into that platform, you'll notice that all of these headings up at the top you see on the screen right now are available to you on that top heading, that header. So first I'll run through the ARC. So the ARC stands for Academic Resource Center, which is our kind of database of all digital resources, PDFs, sample papers, different information that you'll use throughout different courses. There's even a link there for that learning style kind of assignment you guys are working with. We do have some section on that as well. So there's tons of things in there that you'll find. In our platform, you can reach the ARC directly by clicking the slot or the title that says resources. The second option that tends to be a really popular one is the 24/7 drop-in. Now, 24/7 drop-in is exactly like what you think. If you're looking for a quick, immediate answer for something, you can jump in there at any time. This is run by a third-party vendor, which basically means that these tutors are professional tutors, but they're not SNU specific, and this is only a chat feature. So we recommend that this is really your first, you try to find your resources on your own. Maybe you're not getting it just yet. You need somebody to kind of clarify and help things out right in the moment. 24/7 would be your next go-to for options of support. And obviously you can upload things and share with them what you're working on, and they'll be able to help you. The third option that you'll see there is something called written feedback. Again, this is a third-party vendor option. It's kind of a drop off your paper and they will review it and get back to you within 12 hours. So this is a great option for anyone that is writing a paper. Maybe you just need a second set of eyes on there to kind of figure out, is my thesis statement working out? How's my grammar? Things like that. The one thing I will say about the written feedback option is because it's on a time frame and it's a human being looking at your paper, if you have a multiple page paper, it may be better to just upload a certain portion of it so that you can get specific feedback on that portion of the paper. If their list or queue of different written feedback submissions is too long, they may not get to the whole entire thing if it's a 6 to 8 page paper, for example. So definitely be specific when you drop off what you're looking for as feedback and what part of the paper you want them to kind of hone in on. The next option and all the rest are directly from your SNU peers and success team here, our academic support team here at SNU. So the first one is pre-scheduled support, and there's two options under that one when you see it on the platform. The first one is our peer tutoring live, and that is a one-on-one 45-minute appointment with a SNU, SNHU peer that has been there before. They have done the classes that you have questions about, and they're there for you specifically. This is something that you can schedule with the same person every 72 hours. So if you're finding it helpful with this particular person, and maybe for this particular course, you'd like to stay with them for the term, you can absolutely work with them to schedule per term if you want to meet with them weekly. So this is a great option for that really specific one-on-one support with SNU, actual SNU help that they know your course content. They do have access to all of the rubrics and different things they can help you with. So this is a great option. Another option that we offer is just like this class is offering, you to learn about your time management skills or your learning styles or reading comprehension, things that are more student skills versus course specific. We have academic coaching, and it's free for you to use as long as you're a SNU student. It is a one-on-one with somebody that's going to be your champion. They're going to help you work through how does this milestone work into your project. They're going to kind of work on organization, all of those student skills that we kind of forget we need in this environment, especially in the online environment. This person can be your champion and your partner. I like to say they're great accountability partners too, to kind of help you build those skills and just be much better on your journey, be ready for success, and really learn the skills that are going to last you even beyond your degree. So academic coaching is an option. It is a long-term option. So if you really want that person to kind of go to help you with those skills, you can set yourself up with an academic coach, and they will be there for the life of your degree. So that's a really great option if you want that long-term, really personalized support. And the last thing that we have, which is definitely not the least thing, it's very, very robust, is our group sessions. Now we have 3 different options, and on the platform itself, at the very top, you'll notice the tab says workshops. since that was created on our platform, we have now since expanded a little bit. So I'm going to talk about workshops, office hours, and peer groups. So we offer 3 different group session versions now. So when you jump into that, you'll see there is a wide list of things that you can sign up for. Every term, we have content specific workshops, which is basically a preset presentation about a topic, and you can ask questions and at the end and kind of learn about a specific thing. Or there are office hours for a specific topic as well. So for example, if you want to learn a little bit about APA style, we have a office hours where you can jump in and say, oh, I have questions about this and my instructor gave me this feedback and how do I help this? And they can answer your questions in real time without a preset presentation. Or you can jump into a workshop where they're just going to go through the rundown of all the things APA, and then you can ask general questions at the end about that topic. So 2 different versions of what you might need. I always say to students that one-on-one peer tutoring live, which is that 45-minute that you can meet with somebody, throughout the week. If you really don't have the time to meet with somebody for 45 minutes, sign up for one of the workshops and or the office hours, because if you sign up and you don't make it, you can also see the recording after it's done. So it's a great way to kind of stack up all of these sessions that you're not able to go to. They'll be in your locker in your account right on the main page, and you can go back and view them at any time. And then, of course, if you can attend, that's amazing as well. So lots of things happening in the group session parts. We also have peer groups, and I know you guys are coming from SNHU Connect, which is a great community. We also offer kind of like a roundtable discussion about things that our students can build community around. So if you're new to SNHU, we have a peer group for that. If you're an active veteran or a spouse of a veteran or military person, then you absolutely have a peer group there as well. We also have like executive function peer groups where we can talk about how we use our skills as students. We have, you name it, writing peer group. If your grammar is your thing or writing is your major, you can jump into the writing group and talk all things writing. So there are tons of peer groups as well to kind of get connected and build community. And with all of these services, I know that was a lot, but with all of these services, if you ever have any questions, please reach out to your instructors, reach out to the academic support team. We are here for help, and right on our main page are ways that you can contact us or schedule yourself for a one-on-one with either an academic coach or a peer tutor just to see what it's all about. We're here for you guys. And the last question, Melanie, that was on the screen that I see is academic support only for SNHU 107? Absolutely not. We are available to all students for the life of your degree here at SNHU. So there are multiple sessions, multiple avenues of getting help at every level of your degree, and more to come with that. We keep expanding every day. So we hope that you join us at some point. Any of our services will really help. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us anytime. Melanie?
Amy, thank you so much. Y'all,
Welcome.
every time I get the opportunity to work with one of our amazing academic support center members, I learned so many things. And as y'all can see, there's so many ways for you to get support in a way that works best for you simply just by clicking and exploring and looking. And that's okay to click around and find out all the things and just figure out what really works best for you. And often students are like, well, how will this help me manage my time? Well, if you have people that are helping you, whether it be an accountability partner or reviewing some of your writing assignments, it can save you time because you know what is due and you have somebody that's supporting your success on that. So, Amy, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending some time with us today. And students tell me every term, they wish they would have started using services like what Amy talked about today earlier rather than later in the term. So this is kind of your reminder, since we have your very first journal assignment, why not just use that written feedback service and just see what it's all about, okay? So just real quick to wrap up, I want to share my screen with y'all. And I want to show you what is due and how to find things in your classroom space. Okay, so if you go into your Brightspace classroom, now mine's going to look just a little bit different, okay, and it's going to look a little bit different because I'm an instructor, but I wanted to point out just a couple of things. So first, like Amy said, at the very top of your screen, when you log into Brightspace, you can directly click on academic support. And when you do that, it's going to pull up all of their menus, okay? Underneath that resources section is where you'll find that ARC. But you'll see right here, there's the drop-in tutoring. Here's that written feedback where you can upload and submit a draft of any SNHU writing assignment or discussion work. Here's those workshops, and then you can get down into the peer tutoring, academic coaching, and I always love the frequently asked questions section too. So it's all right here, y'all. I wanted to make sure that I showed you that everything is right here for them. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is I mentioned that for your journal assignment, you need to have Office 365 or something compatible like a Word document, right? So underneath help, if you click on this little icon, it is going to give you these options and you can click on online student services. When you do that, it is going to pull up a page that has all of the departments and teams here at SNHU. So quick access to our bookstores, advising, technical support. Here's academic support again. The library is right here. You can get some Brightspace navigation tutorials, student financial services, online accessibility center, quick link to SNHU Connect, and of course, SNHU Career. But center in on this Office 365 and other software. Click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. You can follow the prompts so that you can download Office 365, which has like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all the fun things, okay? The other thing I wanted to show you this week is where do I find everything for Module 2? We'll click on Course Menu. Remember real quick, always view your announcements. You can find all of the weeks under learning modules. Here's a quick link to get to discussion boards, and then you can always find your grades here. But let's click on that learning modules, and we want to navigate ourselves to Module 2. What I wanted to show you as a reminder is when you navigate to Module 2, always click the blue and go through the introduction. It'll give you an overview of what you're doing this week. So scroll down, arrow over, and then it also will always have required resources for you. So chapters you might want to read in your textbook, any helpful videos to help you navigate or do assignments. Remember how we needed that 5 habits of successful SNHU students? Y'all, right here, click the blue. It'll open up the infographic. So make sure you're always checking what's within your module also, okay? Just as a reminder, you have that discussion assignment again this week. So you want to answer these 4 questions for your initial post. They're right here. Again, initial post due by Thursday or before as convenient for your schedule, and then respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday. And then your other assignment is that journal assignment. So your journal assignment, when you get to the journal assignment, always click on guidelines and rubric, because it opens up an overview of your assignment and directions. So it lists the questions you're going to be answering. But what I want to point out is your rubric is right here too, so you can always see how you're going to be graded. But right here under what to submit, that is where you will see this module journal template. So Module 2 journal template. Click on it, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go, and it's going to open up the Word document. Looks just like this. For many of you, you might have to click on Enable Editing. And what I wanted to remind you of is you can type directly in this document. So for example, question 1, what is your preferred learning style, right? Well, for me, I'm just going to say, I am a combination of, and now granted, remember you want to be like grammatically correct here, but I just want to use this as an example and tell you like how you can do this. And then like, I don't need these because that's not me, right? And then, so here it is. I answer this question. I'm a combination of read-write learning style and visual graphic learning style. Don't forget my punctuation. And then how will understanding this help me support my success inside and outside the classroom? I can type right here. Okay, so obviously that's not grammatically correct, but I just wanted to show you like you can literally type right in here. So if you're going to answer this question, you can type right in there. You can remove the brackets. You can do whatever you want. Remember, if you don't love the template, it's okay to create your own new document if you really want to. This is just here to be convenient and be helpful for you, but just make sure you have all pieces and parts, okay? Answer all the questions, save it, and upload it for your instructor to grade. So that is everything in the classroom space. Your journal assignment, your discussion assignment, where to click and how to find things. So I just want to leave you with one last thing. This is one of my favorite quotes. It's by Harvey McKay. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once you've lost it, you can never get it back. This is your reminder. Use the 24 hours that you have been given wisely. Connect for your success, utilize resources, manage your time in a way that works best for you. And just remember, you got this. Have an amazing week 2, and I'll see you next week for week 3.